Jay-Z has been very silent amid all these allegations about his longtime friend Diddy, and according to Jaguar Wright, that's because Jay-Z is an even worse monster. A disturbing blind item recently surfaced about how Jay-Z allegedly slept with a singer who was signed to his label when she was a minor, and then blackballed her career when Beyonce found out. However, word on the street is that this woman is not the only alleged victim, and Jaguar is now spilling the tea on everything Jay-Z and Diddy have in common. Jay-Z's lawsuit against Diddy really opened the floodgates, and are saying Diddy's friend Jay-Z is up next for exposure, just like Jaguar Wright predicted years ago. When Jaguar first spoke out against Jay-Z, people called her crazy. However, her story never changed, and she's now saying that Jay-Z is even worse than Diddy. But before we get into what Jaguar said, we need to talk about this new blind item that's making the rounds on social media about singer Tiara Marie, who was signed by Jay-Z at age 16. Tiara was discovered by L.A. Reid and then signed to Def Jam at the same time as Rihanna. Reid said in his memoir that the label initially believed Tiara would be a bigger star. However, Beyonce interfered and told them to focus on Rihanna. Reid said, "We had an in-house company showcase and Beyonce happened to be there with Jay-Z, Tiara Marie, Rihanna, a four-girl group called Black Butterfly, and Neo performed at the label. We thought Tiara Marie would be a big star. We spent more time on her, did more work on her, paid more attention to her. A bell went off for me, however, when after the showcase Beyonce came up to me and said that Rihanna girl, she's a beast." And according to this blind item, did this because she found out Jay-Z was messing with Tiara. The blind item claims Reid also slept with Tiara as soon as he discovered her mind. Reid is 31 years older than Tiara, and then Tiara was allegedly sold to Ray, who was involved in all this shady business of scouting and controlling young female actresses. According to the blind, Ray J then took over and brought Tiara to Jay-Z's attention.
Soon, she was sold to this pseudo corn star and celebrity sibling. Can also take a guess at that one. He loves controlling vulnerable women. It is his specialty. Anyway, he started controlling the career of this singer. He brought her to the attention of this A-plus list rapper and mogul, allegedly Jay-Z.
Allegedly, Jay-Z, Ray J, and Tiara started dating in 2006. And this is interesting because Jay-Z suddenly dropped Tiara from his label that same year. Shortly after Tiara turned 16, Jay-Z signed her to Def Jam, and she released her first album. Rockefeller Records presents Tiara Marie. In August 2005, the album was a success, reaching number 5 on the Billboard 200, number 2 on the top R&B and hip-hop albums chart. The following year, Tiara started working on her second album, but the production was suddenly stopped in the middle, and Tiara received a phone call from the label right before her high school graduation telling her they were dropping her, and Tiara said she never heard from Jay-Z again.
No longer on the label because, well, to be honest with you, I don't know why I'm no longer on the label, but I know that I just took some time off to finish school or whatnot, and then, in the midst of that, I was in Detroit, and I just got a phone call, like, I think I was getting ready for prom or something, and they were like, we're going to be letting you go. You're young. You have a bright future ahead of you. The womp talk. And that's how it happened. I was shocked. I was sad because Jay didn't call me himself. Jay Brown called me. And I was, confused because I didn't know why.
According to Tiara, Jay-Z initially portrayed himself as a father figure, and yet he cut her off with no explanation. He was like a father figure at the time. But right now I can't say that because I don't talk to him anymore, and he didn't even call me and tell me bye, so Now this is interesting because in her lawsuit against Diddy, Cassie said Diddy acted like the same when they first met, emphasizing the age and power dynamic early on in their working relationship. Mr. Cole Miss positioned himself as a father figure and protector of Miss Ventura anyway. According to the blind item, Jay dropped Tiara because he was sleeping with her, and once found out. On top of that, Ray J was allegedly mad because he wanted Tiara for himself, so Jay dropped her as quickly as he signed her. Not only that, but he also allegedly blacklisted her and blocked her career.
Was like a father figure at the time, but right now I can't say that because I don't talk to him anymore, and he didn't even call me and tell me bye bye. So
Getting dropped from Day Jam, Tiara developed a substance issue and spent some time in rehab, which many believe is a consequence of getting involved in the industry at such a young age. But Tiara isn't the only young woman Jay-Z was accused of grooming. He was allegedly involved with Foxy Brown when she was just 14, and he also met Beyonce when she was 16, and he was 28. There have also been rumors circulating for years that Jay-Z was involved in Aaliyah's death because she rejected his advances weak. Now that Jay-Z was very close with R. Kelly, and according to Aaliyah's ex-Dame Dash, even after Jay found out about Kelly saying Aaliyah and illegally marrying her at 15, he refused to cut ties with him.
Time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal, but that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A-plus list singer who was in his face every day. And this could allegedly be Beyonce. Thing is though, that corn star in charge of her career was feuding with the mogul and told the mogul he would not be allowed to hook up with the singer again. I assume he thought the mogul would think she was something special. Apparently not as special as the current A-plus lister, because the new signee was dropped and the word was put out on the street. No record deals for her from any label.
Dash also said Jay-Z tried very hard to get with Aaliyah, however she wasn't interested in him like that. Every time Aaliyah attended these industry parties, Jay-Z was around. However, no matter how hard he tried, Aaliyah liked Dame Dash, so Jay allegedly decided Beyonce should take Aaliyah's spot around. This time, Jay-Z also started feuding with Dame, and it all culminated in 2001, when Aaliyah tragically passed away in a plane crash. In the Bahamas that same year, Jay and Beyonce made their relationship public, and less than a year later, Jay-Z released his joint album with R. Kelly, Best of Both Worlds. Now, after R. Kelly's crimes were exposed, Jay-Z's PR team allegedly worked hard to bury all traces of their friendship. However, people who were there to witness all this, like Jaguar Wright, refused to be silenced, and he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. They made all those records together. They both, they shared so much in common. Whoever talks about of the both worlds, best of both worlds, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about that project sweep that smooth under the road. Jaguar claimed that Jay-Z was jealous that Aaliyah picked Dame Dash, and keep in mind that Jaguar appeared as a background singer on Jay-Z's MTV Unplugged in 2001, the same year s.a'd died, and when Jay-Z was recording Best of Both Worlds with R. Kelly, so she must have witnessed a lot. By the way, wasn't this all around the time when aaliyah did? And Beyonce's solo career was struggling. Jam on your horn. Now that Bull record from the Austin Power was some of the worst ever, they were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah died, and then they brought Rich Harrison in. And you've got think crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for page 6. Aaliyah, didn't she fell in love with Dane? By the way, around this time, Jay-Z also started clienteling with Diddy, and they've stayed friends ever since, so they must have a lot in common. According to Jaguar, one of the things they have in common is how quickly they throw under the bus their former friends, and she pointed out that both Jay and Diddy profited from Biggie Smalls' death. And then in her latest interview, Jaguar said the only reason Jay-Z's laying low now is because he's even worse than Diddy.